Okay, I apologize for that. Back at Studio 26 on this Thursday morning. So that's where we stand at right now. And that the president, hoping that we won't go through this brouhaha again, and saying that we won't, but unless some changes are made, and I'm not talking just about from the Republicans, I'm talking about from the Democrats too, and most of all from the American people. We need to voice our opinions. You need to write to your congressmen, your senators, and it's never been easier. There's this little thing called the internet that's been given public access, we've had access to for 20 years now. Let's utilize it. Get in touch with your senators. Get in touch with your congressmen. Tell them what you want done, what you don't want done. Make your voice heard. Part of the point of this program is to encourage people to participate more in their community, whether it be local, state, or national, or international. Okay, those are our four choices. Take choice number 3 on this one. Please, even if we don't agree with each other, voice your opinion. Okay, it's that important. And most of all, if you are eligible to vote and aren't voting, get your ass to a poll at the next election. Okay? Get your voter registration stuff up to date. Because this just sitting on the sideline and not participating is tantamount to sitting at a football game, cheering on your hometown team, but no one's listening to you. Okay? Maybe not the best analogy, but you understand what I'm saying. If you're going to participate, might as well go all the way. Now, I'm not saying you should run for office, but don't just sit there and complain about the inequities of life if you're not going to participate, because otherwise, I don't think you have much of an argument. Well, speaking of yesterday, Senator Ted Cruz conceded yesterday that he would not hold up a vote on the emerging Senate deal to reopen the federal government and avert a federal default, but admitted that the 3-week-long budget standoff, which began with his 21-hour speech on the Senate floor, remember that, with the Dr. Seuss stuff, was nothing more than an effort to build up his fundraising list. And even after all the hubbub yesterday, he had the audacity to say this.
And here we are, reopening the government after a lot of bruising political warfare internally, and you got nothing for it.
Well, Dana, respectfully, I disagree with the premise of that. I think we have seen a remarkable thing happen. Months ago, when the effort to defund Obamacare began, official Washington scoffed. They scoffed that the American people would rise up. They scoffed that the House of Representatives would do anything, and they scoffed that the Senate would do anything. We saw, first of all, millions upon millions of Americans rise up all over this country, over 2 million people signing a national petition to defund Obamacare. We saw the House of Representatives take a courageous stand listening to the American people that everyone in official Washington just weeks earlier said would never happen. That was a remarkable victory to see the House engage in a profile in courage. Unfortunately, the Senate chose not to follow the House, and in particular, we saw real division among Senate Republicans. That was unfortunate. I would point out that had Senate Republicans united and supported House Republicans, the outcome of this, I believe, would have been very, very different. I wish that had happened, but it did not. But it does give a path going forward that if the American people continue to rise up, I believe the House will continue to listen to the American people, and I hope in time the Senate begins to listen to the American people also, because, look, lots of people in Washington love to focus on the politics. It is, unfortunately, the game of this town. But what matters more than any politicians in Washington is all of the people across this country who are hurting right now, who are getting in the mail a notification that the health care they're relying on for their care, for their parents' care, for their children's care, that it's being canceled because of Obamacare.
I don't like this guy at all. Not just because he's a Republican. But if you care so much about the people, you cost us $24 billion, and you have the audacity to talk about fiscal responsibility. You put 800,000 people out of work just so you can promote your own job efforts, sir? I don't know. Maybe you do have the people's heart and your best interest, but I'm just not convinced. I am really not convinced. And to reiterate, this was done 3 weeks ago. Remember this?
The difference with green eggs and ham. is when Americans tried it, they discovered they did not like green eggs and ham, and they did not like Obamacare either. They did not like Obamacare in a box with a fox, in a house, or with a mouse. People are frustrated because their elected officials don't listen. When we're home on the campaign trail, we say we listen. And yet something about this Senate floor, something about Washington, D.C., I don't know if it's the water, something in the air, the cherry blossoms, but people get here and they stop listening to the American people.
And with that part, I do agree with him. It seems like once they get to Washington, D.C., they do stop listening to the American people. And that's why you've got to get out there and voice your opinions, okay? All right. I want to save that for tomorrow's program. One more thing I want to bring up on this program, and as a follow-up to a regional story here in Missouri that's gained a lot of national attention this week thanks to the Kansas City Star. And, refer to the programs from yesterday and Tuesday to get more details. But in regard to a rape case in Maryville that occurred in January 2012. Many questions are still being asked about what's to happen now. Well, the prosecutor in the case will not be able to appoint a special prosecutor. However, another court will. And I'll continue to follow this and make sure that whomever is appointed will do the right thing. I believe they will, and that this young girl, Daisy, will get justice from this. This would not have happened, though, if more people hadn't pressured the prosecutor to reopen this case. And as a matter of fact, a friend of mine posted last night on Facebook that she sent some daisies to the Maryville area prosecutor's office. I believe that's Nottoway County, I want to say, but I don't remember for sure, so don't hold me to that. But anyway, she sent some daisies, the flowers, to the prosecutor's office in an effort to reiterate, to drive home that this girl should not be forgotten. This case must be reopened. But hopefully I'll have more up-to-date information tomorrow in regards to where that's going as of right now. Speaking of as of right now, coming up in a few minutes, I'll have a look at the nationwide weather forecast for you, as well as the Kirksville, Missouri area weather forecast. News headlines, celebrity birthdays a little bit later on, CBS World News Roundup, and a whole lot more. But first, we'll take a break, and then when we come back, things you need to know on this Thursday. So please, by all means, stick around. Enjoy the veal. Have a refreshing beverage.
When a fire engine, ambulance, or other emergency vehicle approaches you with flashing lights and sirens, you may not always know who we are responding to help, but you can be sure that time is of the essence. Emergency services personnel rely on you every day to help them to respond quickly and safely to 911 calls. By taking a few moments to think slow when an emergency vehicle approaches you, you can help us to help others. When you see flashing lights and hear sirens, stay calm and make calculated, safe decisions. Look around to determine what is the safest route to take to yield the right of way. Move over after signaling your intentions. Finally, wait and check to ensure that it is safe for you to re-enter the roadway. By thinking slow the next time an emergency vehicle approaches you, you can play a big part in helping us to help the community quickly and safely. By thinking slow the next time an emergency vehicle approaches you, you can play a big part in helping us to help the community quickly and safely.
What's the story, Noam?
Thirsty guy walks into a bar. You finish it.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Welcome back to Studio 26 on this Thursday morning, the 17th day of October, 2013, and the government shutdown, well, at least this one's over. Hopefully number 19 won't be coming anytime soon. Before I continue on with the program and a look at things you need to know, I want to thank our sponsors for the program, which includes Wishing Stars Native Creations, and check out the links on my friend's page at tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or tinyurl.com/Gunther Mobile. And thank Wishing Stars Native Creations, along with Maria Sewer, Fine Art Today, and Marshall Woodworking. Again, all those links can be found on my website on the Friends page at tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or /Gunther Mobile. Now, let's find out what's trending.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
And now the things you need to know to look cool around the office water cooler today. Of course, today is the 17th day of October, 2013. And on my list today, I see that Get Smart About Credit Day is today. Ironic considering that our federal government just came out of a 16-day shutdown, isn't it? It's also known as International Credit Union Day. North Carolina State Fair runs from now through Sunday, October 27th, in Raleigh, North Carolina. In News Attack this morning, new research by the Harvard School of Public Health says that eating bacon reduces the vitality of a man's sperm. Not this man. I am Bacon Man. Let me get this straight. So not only is bacon tasty, but it's also a contraceptive? Interesting. I'll incorporate that information into my databanks now. Sunglasses salesman is top reviewer on TripAdvisor. Seems that a sunglasses salesman from Newcastle, I assume that's England, has been named Britain's most frequent restaurant reviewer. 52-year-old Phil Blackett has written critiques on 780 businesses, from carry-out joints to bakeries to 5-star restaurants and hotels. His reviews, posted on the website TripAdvisor, occurred in 501 cities across 36 countries. And who's better to be an authority on fine cuisine than a man from Britain, huh? British cuisine, not exactly the most exciting stuff in the world. Kind of like, oh boy, toast again. Yay. And there was much rejoicing. Yay. In the wacky but true files today, man rages over tub of ranch dip. Huh? After learning that the first 2 packets of ranch dressing were free, but that he would have to pay for a third, a customer at a Seattle area Jack in the Box flew into a rage and attacked another man. Well, when you're out of blue cheese he wanted ranch. Oh, okay. Well, no wonder he's so upset. He wanted ranch, and all you had was blue cheese. I'll take the blue cheese. You can have my ranch. No reason to get in a tizzy, Lizzie. There's a new option. Barter is now an option when you upgrade to... Oh, that's an advertisement I wasn't supposed to read. Well, I wasn't supposed to read, but you're like, what's he talking about? Matthew McConaughey called Tom Hanks to lose weight. Matthew McConaughey has bulked up for roles in films like Magic Mike, but when he had to lose weight for a project, he called in the expert Tom Hanks. Matthew says when it was time to drop 50 pounds for Dallas Buyers Club, he called Tom about how he lost weight for Philadelphia and Castaway. And he said it'd be great if you did. And finally, number for the day, 4.5. That's the circumference in feet of the world's biggest afro. Good God, man, 4.5 feet? That's about 2.25 feet on each side. Wouldn't it be? Well, it seems that Avon Dugas, or how you pronounce his name, showed off her afro on the TV show The Doctors this week. According to Dugas, the afro takes hours for her to prepare. I imagine so. How do you lay down with 4.5 feet of hair on your head? I just get a couple of inches and then I'm just... Yeah, I'll take that one out of context, why don't you? And those are things you need to know for this Thursday.
This is AP News Minute. Federal workers are on their way back to their jobs Thursday after President Obama signed a measure to end the partial shutdown. The deal, passed by the House and Senate, funds the government and keeps the country from defaulting on its debt. New Jersey elected Newark Mayor Cory Booker to the U.S. Senate. Booker, a Democrat, was elected to finish the term of Senator Frank Lautenberg, who died in June. More than 150 people are known dead after the massive earthquake that hit the Philippines. The quake also destroyed at least a dozen centuries-old churches. And astronauts from the U.S., Russia, and Japan are getting ready to take the Olympic torch into space. It's part of the torch relay ahead of the 2014 Winter Games in Sochi, Russia.